Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by. Today I am playing with some new Catherine Pooler products. I've got the couple of the stamp sets and dies from the Posh Crew collection. These are the Ladies at Lunch, and it's got some awesome sayings on there. I absolutely love them. So they've got good friends make every day special, this calls for a mani-pedi, glad we're besties, spa days anyone. And then I've also got the quilted covered die, which I absolutely love. I've got the Besties die, so this says Besties. I am actually going to incorporate a older stamp set, which is the Better with Friends. I think it's actually quite fitting. I've got a sentiment that I know I'm going to use with this. I'm also going to be using some ink blending of 3 new inks from the Date Night collection. I will be using a Waffle Flower Media Matte. This is a card size. This is the smaller version, so I am cracking open a brand new item. And I'm going to show you my ink blending. I am actually not overly fussy. You'll find with the Catherine Pooler inks, they almost self-absorb and they kind of self-regulate. I don't know, there's probably a proper word for that, but it will fix itself. And the inks do most of the work. I do aid with the ink blending with a makeup brush because I find this blends a lot easier. I am still mastering how I hold this, so you'll see me hold this in different ways, from the end of the brush, then I end up holding the head of the brush. So I think for me, I'm still finding that if you start with a lighter touch and then work your way to a heavier hand, I suppose depending on the color saturation you're after, will really vary in the results. So it's really up to you to find your own method and technique. All I can say is I am practicing still. I actually love the end result of this, and because I chose to die cut with a cover die, it actually picked up it kind of hid any faults, and it didn't pick up any of my really bad ink blending techniques. So I don't tend to be overly fussy on these 3 inks, purely because the die cut actually has a lot of detail. Hid the actual bad ink blending. I'm still learning and I'm still figuring out. So I do try and go over where I needed to find, where it needed to be blended more, and I fussy a little bit over it. But you can see, because the saturation, it saturates into the cardstock, I really didn't need to do too much fixing. Once I put this through the die cut, you can see that it actually ended up seeping into the cardstock and blending really well. Now once I die cut the quilted cover die through the die cutting machine, it left this awesome detail. Now to the back of this, I wanted to use a brand new Wow Embossing Trio. This is from the Pick Me Up range, and this is the Earl Grey. Now what I do is my biggest tip for everyone, and it has helped me immensely, is I create pretty much a whole cardstock panel, a embossed glitter cardstock panel, and I use this for my die cutting. I use this for words, as a backing, for elements, and I find it really easier for me to heat emboss these panels as my go-to and have on the side, just like I do with die cutting excess words, backgrounds. I just have these kind of things handy for my quick card making tips and tricks along the way. Sometimes I need to really whip up a quick card, so to do that I will have these panels and die cuts ready to go. So now I'm bringing in the Better with Friends. I love these ladies who are just sharing a Sunday together. I know you can't do that with COVID, but I love the image. I am not a good colorer, so let me just declare that. So sometimes to avoid coloring, what I will do is I will heat emboss. So So part of that is I've chosen to heat emboss this image on vellum with gold, and check it out. I love how this turned out. I love the magic of heat embossing. One thing you have to remember when you're heating on vellum is, one, to make sure your heat tool's ready, but don't overheat. So you'll see me waving it around, pushing it away, diverting it away, and so on, just because I wanted to avoid any extra overheating and warping. Now with the sentiment, I've stamped it with the drive-in, so one of the inks I used for ink blending, and I stamped "We Go Together Like Sundays and Brunch." And how fitting did that go with this stamp set, right? You know, it fit well. So to adhere this down, I fussy cut it down, fussy cut the vellum piece and adhered it down with some glue dots. I haven't used these glue dots for ages and I forget how great they are. And then I put some foam tape behind here on the actual circle die cut. It's a stitch circle. This is the punch, again from the same collection. You can see how sparkly and beautiful it is. Again, here's my background, my pre-heat embossed background, and I'm going to die cut this bows. Now the name for this is put a bow on it. They come with 3 different sizes, and I end up using the smallest and placing it on top of the sentiment, just as a cute glittery element. And once I've adhered this down with a glue dot, I place this panel on a side folding cardstock card base, and that was it for me. I reckon the ink blending stood out. I didn't really need to take any more away from that, so that's why I chose to heat emboss on vellum the image, but I just wanted to use this image because it was just so fitting with the sentiment. So I hope you liked today's card inspiration using some of the new collection from the Posh crew, but also you can incorporate it with some of your old stamp sets too. So thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, even leave me a comment. I love reading your comments along the way. So thank you, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.